joining me this wonderful Monday soapy morning. Can you believe February's almost over? Did you guys watch the Oscars last night? Wow. Okay, so unruly hair. I have it in spades. Um, I know some guys deal with baldness. That's a curse that I wish I had been born with some days. I have more than my share of hair, and it can be like dealing with landscape shrubs, and that's just how it is. I can brush it, I can comb it, I can clip it, I can put a cap on it, but it just does not want to behave when I let it grow out. I always wanted hair when I was a kid that grew. My friends all had long straight hair, and you could see it swing on their backs and things like that. I always wanted that, and I never had that. Mine always just froed out, right? Anyway, one of the ways that I managed my hair as a kid was my mother would make oil to put in my hair. She first tried Brill Cream, and there was another product at that time, and I can't quite remember the name of it, Vitalis. And there were two or three different products. Most of them were based on mineral oil, which is petroleum, right? And I had allergic reactions to those. And so she found by mixing some oils, now some of these weren't around or she didn't have access to them, so I have modified this. But she would put oil in my hair, which made my hair behave better. I could comb it, it would, it just wasn't this big bush on my head. And that's what I have learned is by using many of these nourishing and curative oils. And when I say that, some are antibacterial, some are anti-inflammatory. Some of them help to seal the scalp from loss of moisture. During this time of the year when we have forced heat, the scalp can get very dry, itchy, maybe even flaky. And I'm not talking about dandruff. I'm talking about just dry scalp. But for those that may have something like eczema or psoriasis that affects the scalp, something like this can really be beneficial. So I suggest that you try this. And this is just a mixture of several different oils: avocado, castor oil, almond oil, hemp oil, argan, mustard, and jojoba. And this is the mixture that works good for my type hair, for dry, coarse, or curly hair. And see, I have gray hair as well, which I've mentioned in other videos, and of course you can see my cotton top. And gray hair tends to be more coarse. As we lose the pigment, we also lose some of the protection in the hair. So you really do have to treat it a little bit more, or give it more moisture than perhaps you would with younger, healthier hair. And I find that this works for me. Now, you could modify this. For instance, I'm using avocado oil. You may want to cut the avocado and just use a lighter oil, like the almond oil or some others. Some of you may prefer olive oil. Play with this, find what works for you. But I find that this is a good all-around serum for anyone that may have dry hair. And if you have oily hair, obviously this wouldn't be good, but for any of us that have overprocessed hair, this is fantastic. I'm going to stick this in my Etsy store for as low a price as I can. It's just a small bottle anyway, and so if it's something you're interested in, you will have access to it, or you can just make it yourself. I only use about 6 drops of it on my big bush hair, and that's all it really takes. Because if you put too much on your hair, you don't want an oily hair, right? So this works really well for me. And now I know it's still a big bush on my head. I can't do much about that. It's just because I need a haircut. But it's more manageable. I can push it back out of my face and it stays. Much better. So, yeah, there's that. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.